Our local magic enthusiasts, it's time to start your engines.
You trying to go and make yourself more mysterious and ethereal with the echo?
Yeah, let's go with that
Okay,
because it
so,
has nothing to
so
do with me
it was on
getting to mute.
purpose.
Yes, we're gonna go with that. Anyways, welcome to another edition of Magic Talk. We are a day late and a dollar short, but we are here.
You got a
And
lot going on lately.
we do have a lot going on. And today we're going to talk a little bit about who is the creator. Now, I'm not talking about a religious creator per se. I'm talking about when a magic effect is developed. Is it conceivable that two people could come up with the same type of idea?
Okay, so
And yet,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And yet they're different? We're not going to debate this yet.
Okay, I was just gonna say, if it was religious, then that would be a hard one to try to say, because in the topic you were going to go and talk about, hey, both people have the same idea, and say, I don't know if everyone had the same idea of the universe as.
That's true.
We weren't going to go over religious.
Totally different story.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this.
The art of magic is mystery, majesty, pageantry, and craft. It's also about history, marketing, networking, and more. All of these topics and others are discussed on Magic Talk with your hosts, renowned magician James Lantine and owner of the White Rabbit Magic Shop, Joshua Lantine, now on Rough Edge FM.
That is right. It is I, and it is you.
Why do you get to come first?
Because I'm older.
Fine.
I'm going to die first.
Hey, we're going to look at it in that sense, then sure, go first.
Okay.
I got more to do today.
I know. So anyways, wanted to talk a little bit. Now, the reason why we're kind of bringing up this subject is we've ran across this a couple of times.
Yeah, more than one. There's I've got a couple of accounts actually.
So I had performed the chop cup routine probably since I was about 15 years old.
Oh, so the same moves and everything too, or did those get updated?
Some of them they did get updated. I mean, they got better. But there was one particular thing that I did during the chop cup routine. Now this is going to go back 43 years ago.
Yeah, if you were 15.
Yeah. Now, I won't say that I came up with this move right away. It was but it was definitely before I was an adult.
So it was developed in your youth.
Yes.
You had the idea and you kind of brought it up.
So what I did
and refined it.
Yeah. I took a shot glass and I covered it up with a handkerchief, and then I put the ball on top and I covered it with the shot glass, and the ball penetrated the handkerchief and was now in the glass.
And I'm assuming this is using what you would call a chop cup.
Yes. Now, I have not seen that performed before. I did not read any books that had it listed before.
But when you were developing it too, it was not like any real inspiration. It was just kind of like an idea. It's like, oh, hey, I wonder if this, and then it did.
Yeah. There was really no inspiration that kind of toggled. It was just I was playing around with the chop cup. And I went, wouldn't it be cool if you could penetrate something? And so I tried a couple different things. And then I was like, oh, well, what if will it work if I put a handkerchief on top? And it did.
Okay.
Now,
I know what you're talking about. And it's, when you're looking at it, it's not like it's, if you were to really think about it, it's a really nice, cool move.
Yes.
But would you go and say that, oh my gosh, this is groundbreaking? Or do you think, you know what? I think with enough time, more than one person could go and come up with this idea.
Well, obviously more than one person did, because somebody actually documented it. And when I was performing this.
So now there's the difference.
When I was performing this at the castle for another group of magicians, somebody had said, where is that something that you created? And I went, yes. And then somebody else said, no, you didn't. It was so-and-so came up with this, and it was in their book back, whatever. Now, it did not span back 43 years ago.
which is
Or
your
40 years
original
ago.
creation.
Right, which is when I started doing it.
So arguably it could have been done before you even, but now, based off of your recollection, you supersede even the guy who put it on paper.
I believe so, yeah. So the question then becomes, is he the actual creator? Now, technically he is, because he's the one who documented it and wrote it.
Uh-huh.
But who's to say somebody else didn't come up with that idea before they did? They just didn't write a book, because I wasn't writing a book at 15.
Yeah. I mean, that the same could be said about anything really in relation to that, because now you've got creative license that you're delving into at this point. But then it's like, no one invented the word the, but how many times does it get used in every other book everywhere? The whatever. Oh, right on the wall. The Friday Shot Day show. The Backseat Mogul show. I see the twice. So obviously it has been used, and you can't go and narrow down who created those three words or three letters together at once, but you have that creative license as far as, yeah, I made this up. No, I did not steal from anybody because it came from my head.
Right.
And that's, I feel
But
like
the perception is it's somebody else's idea.
now that is kind of hard because you don't know this person. You've never met this person, never even read his book or whatever the heck.
I couldn't even tell you who the person is right now because I don't remember the name, but
yeah. So at that point, how do you know it's not this guy's friend who you performed it for, and not this like big to-do person? And it's like, hey, yeah,
no, it was somebody who wrote books and stuff.
So it was a big to-do person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even still, I mean, put into another situation, another move per se. Who's to say? Who's to go and say, yeah, I mean, this, I know it from this place and this place and this place. I'm like, okay, but I did it. And then it's like, well, no, it came from this. Like, no, it didn't. It came from here.
Right.
Unless he took it from here. It's like, you can't really narrow it down per se. I know there are some moves, some people that you're kind of like, oh yeah, you didn't know that. It's like with Divernet, for example.
Right.
It's like, that one's kind of hard. Or better yet, this is another one that's very widely used in a plethora of different places. Is the Elmsley count. So Alex Elmsley.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't know, it's like, dude, pick up a book for real. But I mean, that one's kind of you're kind of, that one's kind of inexcusable, I would say.
Right.
But
I mean, there are some things that are definitely very prevalent in the industry that,
yeah,
if you're in the industry, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
The lift and all that kind of, I mean, you're gonna know
anything like that.
Now, this is something that's very obscure.
Yeah. It's not very hard to go and say, oh, I'm the creator of this one. I'm like, yeah, you and 3 other people.
Yeah. And if you watch most Chop Cup routines, there's a lot of Chop Cup routines that don't do that.
They don't. I have seen maybe 1 or 2 that have something similar. So I'm assuming the idea is something that other people have thought about. So you've got like-minded people out there who share your sentiment of, wouldn't it be cool if?
Well, and that's my thing. I mean, I know some things are inspired by things.
Yeah.
Like, they might have seen it and said, oh, you know what? Based on that, I'm going to do it like this.
Yeah.
And so there was inspiration there. But to say that only one person can ever come up with an idea.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's like, well, wait a minute. What makes your mind so unique that you're the only one capable of coming up with this idea? So, back in the old days, when there wasn't the internet and there wasn't this wide array of publicity, and somebody came up with the tire, is it conceivable that somebody in Europe or Germany or Russia, whatever, also came up with a tire?
Hey, a wheel is as old as time, and the circle has been used in almost any situation,
Yeah.
like a million situations. And yeah, okay, here's something that's rubber and you can fill up with air. Woohoo!
Right.
Okay, somebody else has done that.
So yeah, so that's now I have another situation. I came up with this routine where um it was based off of another routine where it was using a special deck of cards.
Mhm.
And I thought, you know what? I can do this without a special deck of cards. And
Okay.
and what I ended up doing, so now this trick is always done with the special cards.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up doing was creating an effect that I guess I don't, is it called Oscar or
Oh, Oscar's card
yeah,
is what
where
it's
it's a
called.
name card.
Yeah, the whole idea is that a card is selected or thought of, and then that card happens to be the only card in the deck with the predicted name Oscar, and
Right.
every other card in the deck has like Jack, Sally, Jim, Samuel, like
Right.
any other name in the book, and then this one happens to be Oscar.
Now, in my when I was creating this deck, I created it with the mindset of eliminating special cards.
Yeah, so it's all standard cards.
Yes.
In that regard,
Oscar though never entered my, in fact, I don't even remember ever even seeing that trick. Now
yeah,
I do know about it, but it was not it didn't come into play when I said, "Ooh, I can do it this way and get the same result, and it's one deck of playing cards versus a special deck."
I remember your inspiration for this, and it is more closely related to the what is it impossible prediction.
Mhm.
Now, but again, like you said, it's not using special cards. It's not. It's a trick deck, yes, but it's not using it the way that people would expect if you know what the impossible prediction is.
Right.
And
So
so that's I would take it less. I would take it further away from Oscar and more for closer to that one instead.
right, but the concept that I'm using is the same concept as Oscar.
I mean, yes, so is the invisible deck, and so is
Right.
brainwaves. Of
And some people will
we're not
say that
reinventing the wheel again.
no, but some people will say that all you did was replace the name with with the card with names and just put numbers on them. But again, that did
I
not influence me in any way because Oscar was not even remotely on my mind. And it has been so long since I ever even heard of Oscar. I forgot it even existed when somebody told me about it.
yeah.
So it goes back to, all right, is the guy who came up with the Oscar the only one capable of coming up with that?
The Oscars, yes, actually. I mean, I don't. There's other reward shows on the market,
We're not
but
talking about the Oscars.
oh, I thought you said
The name deck, Oscar.
oh, that's
So
the name of my dog, who I is very near and dear. He has passed, but I still think about him often.
that is true. So
Oh, back to your thing. Sorry.
yeah, thank you. So going back to that with you know, if you truly were not inspired by a move or a concept or an effect and you come up with this idea,
I
where does the creative license come in? It's like I didn't copy anybody because I came up with this.
that is very true. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot the moments that you were just explaining. I feel like there's a lot of reaching, we'll say, because I know of some people, especially in the castle circus, where it's yeah, I could see them going and being up nosy like that. That's I tend to not pay mind to people with that level of an up nosiness about it because of it. They're not taking that into consideration. They're not going and accepting that other people have the same exploratory mindset,
Right.
trying to create stuff. And yes, I understand, not calling anybody out, but I'm just saying there's people out there who go and they say, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. It's like being too studious about it. And it's like, well, no, actually, there's other people can have the same idea because other people are just as good, if not better,
Or just as capable.
just as capable. Yes. Better set of words. But I mean, at that, it's a hard road because I think that's the other thing too. I've noticed is it's not even the actual person who has created it or worked with it who's trying to defend themselves. It's like, where's your stake in all of this? Where
Right.
you have to go and call it out. But
So
That-
that's just
there
it's
is
food for thought.
Well, I know there is others that we have. Like there's one. There was one debate amongst our circle with the magicians that we know, who we've worked with. I believe it was one of the tricks that we have that was arguably done first by Miggs.
Oh, right.
And there was a thing about between Miggs and Bob Bolivar as to who did it first, and so on and so forth. But Miggs ended up taking the this effect onto Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Right.
And
So
it's
He claimed ownership,
yes.
but yeah, so it's
But it was Bob also came up with the same thing. Now who's to say
different.
a little different, yes, but who's to say it was like, okay, I came up with it first or whatever, but similar situation where it's the both of them have the similar, close to the same,
Right.
similar type of trick, and now you're trying to figure out, okay, whose is whose.
Right.
But,
Right. Which in that case, we elected not to sell
yeah, wait,
the effect because
that
it
one's
was too similar.
yeah, that one's on the market still, or on the shelf.
Yeah.
Still.
So yeah, I mean it's a sticky subject because it can get messy because it's like who really has the creative license. Obviously, legally, the person who documented it and maybe copyrighted it or whatever has the creative license for it.
Yeah.
But in reality, just because they took that step doesn't mean that they're necessarily. I mean, they could have gotten the idea from somebody else
That's very
and
true, too.
just took it and documented it. So
Now that one, I feel like there's a good side and a bad side to that one. Like for your example, it's kind of like, okay, dude, get over yourself, because even if it was those tricks that those other people were talking about with the chop cup or with
Right.
the card trick, one, they're so old. Like there's no copyright to it anyway at this point. And two, I mean, for one, you didn't know of these people, but it's so far detached from you. It's like, who cares anymore?
Right.
The one that we were just talking about with Miggs and Bob Bolivar, that one's a little more. Okay, we need to hash this one out a little bit more because
Right.
that's a little too close.
Right.
That's all like discrepancy and being policing yourself, if you will.
Well, and with copyright, you do have to police yourself
Yeah,
because the government's not going to do it for you. All right.
There's that, and then it also feels like, just to be a good fellow magician to all of the lovers of the craft. Let's not start fights where they don't need to be.
There you go. All right. We are going to take a look at the item of the week.
Is it good? Should I buy it? Does it suck? Did I get ripped off? Is it more of a craft project than a magic trick? These questions and more answered now on the Magic Item of the Week here on Magic Talk.
All right, so magic item of the week. We were just talking about whether or not we talked about this before. We came to the conclusion that even if we did talk about it before, so what? It's that good.
Yeah, and I muted myself. Yeah, I muted me. Took me out of the conversation. It's actually one of the fastest moving magic items right now.
It's very, very popular. And this one is tricolor. You have it up on screen.
I do.
Now, this one is another type of color match style effect.
Well, you remember we talked about technology.
Oh, that's
and
right.
the failing of technology.
That's right. So we're just going to bring this one up one more time, just in case anybody missed that one. This is
one effect that can replace the effect that requires technology.
It will replace the effect for technology, but that does not replace the ability to fail. I will say that right now, because this is requiring you yourself and
good eyesight,
basically. Yeah, because that is what you need to have in order to make your read on these things. Now, it does it is very similar to color match,
right,
which is the technology bit. And they have several routines. I think it's about like 4 or 5 that you can go and do with this one. As not only do you get the markers that go along with it, and then your specially gimmicked gaffed caps for the effect. You also get a series of writable business cards and such. Actually, you can even feel these. These feel like they're, I don't know if that's that means that they're supposed to be able to be cleaned off, erased.
I don't think those are permanent markers though. So
these ones, they say fine tip the Sharpies.
Yeah, so they're permanent marker.
Yeah, I don't know how that one's supposed to work, but anyway, you have a bunch of these, and then you also get some Tyvek envelopes. And what these envelopes, if anybody knows of Alan Wong's Tyvek envelopes, these ones are a switching envelope, but now they're not in the tan that the original Tyvek wallets are. This one's in the black. So you're able to go and make a prediction style thing using this. And then if anybody knows how Tyvek works just like any switching envelope should work. And it allows you to facilitate a magical prediction, and then also a switching prediction. Now, this one is really good. Obviously, it's what you said, one of the most popular on the market so far.
Yeah,
this one's flying off the shelf.
Yeah, they've sold thousands of units so far,
and it's actually really affordable. It's only $60 for this thing.
Yeah,
and I definitely would pick one up just for the sheer. If you do anything mentalism, this is like. I don't do anything mentalism, and I like this.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't require technology.
No.
So
if you're afraid, if you're a technophobe, then this is great for you. Have you ever heard that word before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, good.
I wasn't born yesterday.
Well, I don't know. I just heard it in high school, and I thought, oh, wow, it must be a young thing.
Yeah, germaphobe and all those things,
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Excuse me. So we are going to be doing our Magic Burrow this Sunday.
Yes.
And we are going to try to kind of switch some things up maybe a little bit, which we'll talk about. And
finally going to disclose what he plans on doing.
Yeah, kind of, maybe. So and we're
in the loop finally. Oh my God.
We'll hopefully have a guest magician on next Wednesday. Joshua, you are creating an earthquake.
Am I?
Yes.
Hey, it's the MS. I can't help it.
I know, but your knee touches the table, which then rocks everything else, and people get to watch a microphone where they're like, hey, shouldn't you be going under the table with that earthquake going on?
Dude,
anyway,
you should be standing still while you're doing your podcast. I don't know why you can't just stop jittering.
I know. So we got one more
Take
thing
that
for you
next.
before we go, and it's Joshua's favorite.
There is an outbreak among us. It is limited to only a small portion of our population. They have a sickness. They have an addiction. They collect bicycle playing cards, which is bad for them, but great for us because we have almost 500 decks of playing cards to choose from. They'll go crazy in here. They'll spend every last penny they... This is their story. This is Playing Cards Anonymous.
Wow.
Yeah, he just got like killed. So, all right.
All right. So from something very affordable in the Magic world to something a little less affordable in the Magic world, this is my newest addition to my addiction. This is the Odyssey playing card collector's set. Now, this is a nice collector's box. We've got a couple of them actually. This one, it looks like it's a lighter wood, but it also has the Odyssey and I think what is it, Odyssey and Ether logo on it, and they're all numbered. This one I particularly like because it is the 423 number.
Why do you particularly like that?
Because 423.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it's in succession.
But it's not 2, 3, 4. It's 4, 2, 3.
It is the thought that.
And it's not 4, 3, 2.
No,
It's 4, 2, 3.
It's the thought that counts.
Okay.
It's in there. The one weird thing about this is actually every single deck in the collection has the same box number, except for mine, which has another one in here that is 490 instead of 423.
And did you look at the other boxes and verify that they're all the same number?
I have to go double check because I'm only assuming because mine has two that are the same and this one that's weird.
So 490 is going to have a 423 in there.
That would be fun. I want to see that one. I say, look, I have your deck.
Yeah.
Now this one, it comes with a set of 3. And the fun part about all of these ones, they are both foiled and they are gilded.
Now, Joshua, in his true form, took a $200? Is that what this thing is?
Yes. So now this deck of
cards $200
is actually not a $200 deck of cards. This is actually more of an $80, $80 to $90.
No, now it's like a $10 deck of cards.
It has value still. I'll
You
show you
opened
why.
it.
I'll show you why. It has that. Not only is the box foiled, every single card is foiled as well. I don't know if everyone can see that.
So on the backing, there's a shiny, glistery kind of backing, which means that it's foiled.
And then on the edges, look at that shine.
Yes, the edges are also foiled.
You can even see it glowing, the rainbow thing.
Yeah.
Now this...
And what do they call those? Gilded edges?
Gilded, yes. Like the edges of a Bible.
Okay.
Or any type of really important old, what do you call that? Dark Ages manuscript. The cards themselves actually are really comfortable to use.
Okay.
They're a tad stiff, but you can do things with a nice dribble on the side. I wouldn't dare riffle, or not riffle, I wouldn't dare Pharaoh these cards. Right. But the feel themselves, they are really, really comfortable, really springy. And these are, I like the image on the back is very, it goes
like a streak.
It kind of like a digital type of streak. And it has the other court cards that do the same type of thing.
So, the picture cards are not, that they're not the traditional king and queen.
No, they're all very much illustrated. And they have it's a very technological with the type of image because they all look like they're very digital types of court cards.
Almost feels like or seems like a mechanic kind of gearish kind of deck.
Kinda.
So
that's they all have the illustrations look like they're all the same. There's no different illustration depending on the suit. But they do differentiate between the red and the black based off of what the color of the center court card is. The ones that are black are gray, and then the ones that are red are gold and such like that.
Okay.
And these
that-
other ones are supposed to be roughly the same, just with different colorways. This one was the white one, then you have a gray one, and this one's the black one.
And so that collection sells for $200, which means that you will buy it and never open it, unlike Joshua.
I am one of those collectors
which we now have a Odyssey collector's deck that you can get for $75.
You know what? I think other people are like-minded like me and think there's no sense in collecting anything if you can't open the damn thing.
Well, the word collection means that you keep it because eventually you're going to turn around and sell it.
Well, yeah, then I guess I'm not a collector at that point.
No.
I'm a hoarder.
There you go.
I'm a card hoarder, and this is my newest hoard.
Yes.
And I really like it.
I
It's
will
really
go
good.
with that. I will definitely go with that. Anyways, thank you all for listening to the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back next week.
What are we going to talk about next week?
Huh?
What are we going to talk about next week? Do you have any idea?
We're going to probably have a special guest, but
Oh.
I'm waiting for a confirmation.
Okay. Hopefully so.
All right.
We'll let you know later on throughout the week as to who is going to be joining us next week.
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
You know those magic shops you see in malls, the ones with all the novelty items and those cheesy rotating retail trees. You know what those novelty items are. They're fake dog poop and whoopee cushions. You didn't go to the magic shop to find plastic ice with toy flies in it, did you? Of course not. You went to the magic shop to find magic. And that's exactly what you'll find at the White Rabbit Magic Shop in Ventura. The White Rabbit Magic Shop prides itself on one of the finest selections of magic tricks in the Southern California area. Want to make things vanish, float, appear out of thin air? Then the White Rabbit Magic Shop is where you want to go. You buy the trick, and they'll teach you how to do it. Plus, the White Rabbit Magic Shop features the area's biggest selection of bicycle playing cards, with over 400 decks and many rarities to choose from. It's up to you. Do you want an amazing magic trick that will fool your friends and family? Or do you want some phony plastic vomit? Seems to us, that choice is an easy one. The White Rabbit Magic Shop, located at 15500 West Telegraph Road in Santa Paula. Open Tuesdays through Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please call 805-850-3051 or visit online at whiterabbit-magic.com. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.